So just settle into your meditation posture. So feet flat on the ground if you're sitting at a desk, or you can be sitting in the cross-legged position, but make sure you're comfortable. So if your feet are, if your knees are tight and your hips are tight, you can put a couple of cushions underneath each knee. I just want to check, Mary, is the sound okay? It is? Okay, good. Sits bones slightly raised, shoulders are aligned with the hips. And you can have the hands in the meditation mudra. So the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And now here we get to grow our spine a little bit. So just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So perhaps there's someone above you very gently lengthening your spine. There's some space in between those vertebrae. Take a nice deep breath and just relax. And the head is very slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and just relax the jaw. And just bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, the back of the head. Just release any tension there. Relax the ears, the temples, the jaw, and the back of the tongue. And now bring your attention to the back of the neck and relax any tension in your neck, shoulders. Allow your shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and your limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes, and bring the mind to the breath. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And try and get in touch with that stillness, the core of your being. That stillness doesn't come from any external source. It's there all the time. We just need to remember that we can access it. So just notice the air as it gently flows in and out of the nostrils. Sensations on the outside of the nostrils. A little bit cooler as you're breathing in. Let's bring to mind. Perhaps there is some sounds in your environment, maybe outside, maybe inside. Try not to follow those sounds with your own mind. Just allow them to be there. And then just notice what's arising in your mind. Whether it be the menu for Christmas, preparing for friends and family to come and stay or visit over the Christmas period. Maybe something else completely different. But try not to judge or have opinions or have a panic. Just allow the thoughts to arise, to abide, and just let them go. You can just watch them being blown away with the wind, like little dandelion flowers. And I love this analogy. Just imagine you're just sitting on the bank of a river and you're just watching that river flow on by. You're not in the water, you're not being swept away. And while you're sitting on the bank of that river, you're free. Same with the mind. So let's bring to mind all the people of our life. So there are people in our lives who we have these amazing connections with, beautiful, sweet, heartfelt, profound, constructive relationships. They're our loved ones. And then there's those people in our lives who are a little bit difficult for us. Some are just a little bit difficult. Some have harmed us enormously. That's the enemy. And then there's those people in our lives who are just fairly insignificant. We may even pass them on the freeway. We might see their face once in our whole life. These are our strangers. And it's really good to remember that at any point in time, based on our feelings, based on our point of view, the friend, the enemy, and the stranger can change place at any moment. And this may have happened to you in your life. So try and think of them, even if they have harmed you greatly, try and think of them in a way that is a little bit more equal. You don't have to invite them home, but for your own sake, not for theirs, your own sake, perhaps they're all equal in they just want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for this enlightened mind, to bring the mind back to the breath. And we just think we're doing this practice this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So just remembering, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. Nothing we've done can't be dealt with. So we do create this negativity with our mind, so we can equally create positivity with our mind instead. We just use our mind differently. So we start with regret. So this is the 4 opponent powers. We're doing this practice of Vajrasattva in the context of the 4 opponent powers. So sincerely regret from the depths of the heart, your heart, anything you've done to harm any sentient being in this life, or even in some past life, or perhaps you don't even remember. And then the reason we regret is based on this logic of karma. So everything we experience is based on our past actions, our past karma. So the texts say, having harmed others, we will experience harm ourselves. And given that we already understand what suffering is about, we don't want to invite any more. Excuse me, we would most logically pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech. Excuse me, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor. So we're not seeing the Buddha Vajrasattva as some kind of higher power that's going to take our pain away from us or is going to forgive us. We're not giving them that kind of power. We have the power. So we are the ones that are going to do the work. So we just see him like a doctor. He has methods we can use to purify. So we're not, so we're relying upon his methods. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, a couple of inches above the crown of your head. And if you have a teacher, you can imagine this is the mind of that teacher manifesting in this form, this male Buddha form, for your benefit. So you can imagine he's made of blissful, radiant white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And just imagine this lotus, they're born out of mud. They grow out of muddy ponds. But yet the flower is untainted by that mud. So just like our enlightened potential, which is born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful, shaped like lotus petals and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. His sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So now we're also in, as part of this refuge, is we have a sort of developing a sense of compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. So revenge doesn't come into it here. Neither does a kind of satisfaction that someone might be suffering after they've harmed you. This is all about what's going on in your own mind, developing peace inside you. So the best way to do that is to wish for these people to be free from suffering, and particularly the ones who've harmed you, because they will definitely suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So you can have compassion for them for that. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must do this for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, the practice of purification. So we use visualization and mantra, and we start with purifying the body. So Vajrasattva now very compassionately, you can imagine sending powerful white nectar from his heart. So it comes out quite forcefully, maybe like a waterfall or from a fire hose. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it just keeps pouring into you and pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kurohum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Tita mebawa Sutokaya mebawa Sipokaya mebawa Anurakta mebawa Sawa siddhi mempiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Tita mebawa Sutokaya mebawa Sipokaya mebawa Narakta mebawa sawa siddhi mempiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. So be delighted. All the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And think there's no way you could do anything except be of benefit to others now with your body. So the next is a purification of our speech. And again, Vajrasattva, imagine, very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. This arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine that all your harsh speech and useless speech and lying, talking about other people behind the back and getting them to agree with you, lying, I think I said that. All of this is completely purified by this nectar filling you and overflowing. And it's overflowing quite powerfully. So just imagine as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Tita mebawa Sutokaya mebawa Sipokaya mebawa Anurakta mebawa Sawa siddhi mempiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Tita mebawa Sutokaya mebawa Sipokaya mebawa Anurakta mebawa sawa siddhi mempiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Tita mebawa Sutokaya mebawa Sipokaya mebawa Anurakta mebawa sawa siddhi mempiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Tita mebawa Sutokaya mebawa Sipokaya mebawa Anurakta mebawa sawa siddhi mempiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Tita mebawa Sutokaya mebawa Sipokaya mebawa Anurakta mebawa sawa siddhi mempiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Tita mebawa Sutokaya mebawa Sipokaya mebawa Anurakta mebawa sawa siddhi mempiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Tita mebawa Sutokaya mebawa Sipokaya mebawa Anurakta mebawa sawa siddhi mempiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. So now feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So imagine everything that comes out of your mouth is of benefit to somebody else and yourself because you will be hearing it. So next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light, this time from his heart chakra. Again, arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on a light switch, that light instantly dispels the darkness in the room and you can see. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind So all your depression, anxiety, attachment, grasping, neediness, jealousy, bitterness, all of these kind of weirdo things we have going on in our mind, instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mepi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dira meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mepi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mepi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mepi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mepi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mepi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. So go again, be delighted. All your delusions, which are the cause of all of our suffering, all of our own delusions, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone. And imagine now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of just imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And if you wish, you can just do a couple of mantras each as you visualize what we've just done, body, speech, and mind. Or you can imagine light and nectar pouring in, filling you completely, and the same, whether you do a couple of mantras or this, eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. So just like wiping a garlic jar clean, extra wash. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mepi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mepi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mepi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anurakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anurakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anurakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Now feel you're completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. And even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So next is the power of resolve. And this is here where we make a determination to try and refrain from harming. So just choose something that you've been working on. I think for most of us, it's speech, you know. We're not going around killing people or, you know, stealing stuff mostly, but we do things with our speech. And we somehow think it doesn't matter. And we do things with our mind, also thinking it doesn't matter, but this all affects us. So if you do have a habit maybe to ruminate or a habit to get engaged in negative self-talk, perhaps think about, well, I won't do this for 30 seconds or 5 minutes or overnight while I'm sleeping. So make a determination. And this kind of determination, this decision to sort of start thinking about refraining from these kind of habits that we have is what gives us the strength, the courage to change. The Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think my guru's body, speech and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. So we do a little meditation on emptiness. So you think in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand the teachings on emptiness, just place your mind there for a moment. Or you can think that perhaps all phenomena are empty. They don't exist from their own side. And maybe the way I'm viewing the world is different from the way it actually exists. So let's just dedicate all the positive energy we've created doing this purification practice to all sentient beings, all the people of our life, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lam Zephyr Bishay. O Tub Shu Chang Jin Jam Gon Galloway, Tenzin Kyong Pelway, Kunza Dog Porze, Chog Sum Gurway Leg Mon to Drew. Dog sog duje gondu jab ten shuk. Lama Ursel Venerable One, to whose kindness succeeds out of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far off places, especially the West, mindfully of a loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. For Geshe Shara, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Well done, everybody. Nietzsche, was that okay for you? interesting?
Yes, it was perfect. Thank you.
Oh, great.
Really
Thank you.
Great blessing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Thanks.
And nice to see you all. Kathleen and Anna from Liverpool. I keep forgetting. Somewhere I think you're in London. Coral. Good night. Kim. Good night. Aaron. Elizabeth and Mary are in the far east of America. So well done, you guys, for staying up so late. And Dani and Lorraine. And good night. And Shayla. Good night, everybody. Lots of love, sweet dreams. And I'll see some of you tomorrow at 6 a.m.